Take 17. Today's episode is about normalizing society talking about sex, normalizing society talking about masturbation, both male and female masturbation, recognizing when we might have a problem with masturbation or pornography. I only whisper that not because it's something we shouldn't talk about, but because I don't know what words are a yay or a nay, even though I mark the videos as not for children. Any schmoot. Society doesn't like talking about sex. Period. Number one, and I did my doctoral thesis on this, the idea that once we understand that we can talk about sex and talk about our needs and talk about our feelings, we can't be controlled by it. Sex and shaming sex and not talking about sex but still using it to sell products, including products meant for younger people, is wrong. We should not be using sex to sell things. We should be using sex to make our lives more beautiful and or help us understand ourselves and this wild world we live in. Now, there are many different ideas about sex. There's a hilarious comedian says that marriage is no longer necessary because we needed marriage. In the past, females needed it to have their voices heard in some regard, like whether it be through their father or their husband. Now that women are no longer considered property, for the most part, we don't need to get married. You can get married. You certainly don't have to, and you shouldn't be pressured to. But there are such things as commitment ceremonies. Wow, how did I go from sex to marriage? Is this a conservative sex show, or is this a hip with it chit chat about sex? I knew this was going to be a tough subject because it hits so close to home for me, because I have felt a lot of shame in the past surrounding sex, and that's not healthy. Shame's a really interesting one, and I'll start a series on what's it called, that thing here, like kind of lives here, kind of lives here, kind of lives here. Oh, emotions. That's a whole nother subject, because sex and emotions go hand in motherfucking hand, yo. Sorry for the curse words. Hand in mother truckin' hand. Now that's stupid. Hand in mother Lincoln hand. No, I'll work on it. Just a few notes. Concept of virginity is stupid. That is, I mean, I'm not saying, you guys know me. Don't have sex until you're ready to have sex, which no one's ever ready to have sex. That's a fact. But you're gonna have it, and you're gonna think you're ready for it, and you're not gonna be ready for it, and that's cool. That's part of this thing called growing up. And that's the kind of imaginary friend I am. I am here to help us all grow up and become the best sex version of ourselves that we can. If you haven't researched it, research hysteria. That's a hilarious chapter in the lady vagina masturbation saga. Okay, this is, wow, is this gonna be a half-hour long show? Because I was not prepared for that. I thought I was like, here were my talking points. Society doesn't like to talk about sex because once we understand it, we can't be controlled by it. The concept of virginity, hysteria. It was a 1900s treatment, and the treatment was masturbation by your doctor. Normalize talking about sex. Normalize masturbating, and normalize recognizing when you might have a problem with masturbating. Because turn off if you don't want too much information here. I'll give you a minute to get ready for this. Back in the past, I wish I had this kind of stamina now, but back in the past, some days I would masturbate 8 to 17 times a day. Now, granted, my masturbation sessions were super short, and I orgasm because for me, that's why I'm masturbating, is to orgasm, to release the little schmoopity schmoops in my brain that make me feel good. Which we should talk about those schmoopity schmoops. The hormones, I was going to give that lesson today, but then I was like, we gotta address the elephant in the room, that everybody's weird about talking about sex, and that's okay, but we can change that. You know how? By talking about sex. It's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 6 points, and now we're at a 6-minute video. Oh my goodness, did I just look at it at the 6 and the 9 part? No, it was at 6:04, but now it's hitting 6:39, which is all divisible by 3, if you know what I mean. Frank Gonzalez. He was one of my college math teachers that is just a hilarious guy and real nice. I hope he's doing well. Anyway, this has been a great lesson. If you have any questions, let me know. I love answering questions. They're not always right. In fact, most of the time they're wrong, and that's kind of the point. But if I have to explain that, then maybe the bit's lost on you. Mwah, mwah. Sex is fine. Masturbation is fine. Sometimes you can masturbate too much, and that's usually a sign that you're sad, but it's not always. Some people just have a really high sex drive, and some people have a low sex drive. Oh my God, is this a new episode? Should I just keep going? No, I'm done. Have a good night. I love you guys. Stay safe. Wrap it up, whatever it is. Try not to make any babies unless you're ready to make some babies. I love you. Mwah.